Hi, as we start 4.1.2, we are going to start talking about how we can solve systems of equations with substitution. A lot of times I feel like substitution is easier than the equal values method, but it all depends on what kind of equation you're looking at to begin with. And so to start, we are going to solve this one with the equal values method. And so since this one already has y by itself, then our first step is going to take this second equation and put y by itself. So first we'll subtract 3x from both sides. We get negative 3x minus 13 equals 5y, and then divide both sides by 5, and you get y equals, and then here's your negative 3/5 x minus 13 over 5. So then now you have two equations where you know that what y is, and so you can set them equal to each other. So the first equation, y equals a negative x minus 7. That is the left side of my equation. And then my right side of the equation is what I had just come up with. Now, we've talked about this just a couple of times, and I think you guys really appreciated this trick. When you go to multiply a fraction, when you go to multiply or solve an equation that has a fraction in it, if you multiply the whole thing by the common denominator, then it will take out all the fractions. So when you look at the fractions here, both of the denominators are 5. So let's multiply both sides of the equation by 5. 5 times negative x is negative 5x. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. Equals, and then check this out, 5 times 3 divided by 5. There's that 3. So it's negative 3x. Same thing here. If you have something on top and bottom, you can cancel it out. And so when it is the same denominator, you can just, like, the answer is going to be the numerator. So then we are going to solve this equation. So we're going to add 5x to both sides. You could have also added 3x to both sides. So just as long as you're following the rules of solving an equation, whatever you do to one side, do to the other, you should be good to go. So since I put the 5x on the right, then I'm going to take this negative 13. I'm going to add 13 to both sides, put that on the left. Now I have a negative 22 equals 2x. 2 times what gives me negative 22? Opposite of divide, or opposite of multiply is divide. And so negative 22 over 2 is a negative 11. Now, once you have your x, you're going to plug it in. You can use either equation. Well, this was one of my options. This was the other. Thinking that I'm going to be putting in a negative 11, this one looks a whole lot easier. So you come down here, plug that in. So plug in negative 11 for x. Be careful because there is a negative on the outside as well. So it's like taking the opposite of negative 11, which is positive 11. And 11 minus 7 is 4. So the answer to this will be a negative 11, 4. Remember, you can take that and you can plug it into either side, and you would see that that is a true statement. Let's check out the next page. So, close your eyes, I'll make you dizzy for a second. There we go. So a new method called the substitution method can help you solve the systems in 431 without using fractions. And so we're going to go through the steps of that on this page. This is a great page to keep because it kind of helps you through the thought process of how this works. So if you know that y equals a negative x minus 7, then does negative x minus 7 equal y? Of course, they are the same thing. Like, they're on both sides of the equal sign, so you can put them in either direction and it's fine. So yeah, I wrote, yes, if things are equal, then you can switch them. So since you know that, you can replace the y in the second equation with negative x minus 7. So here, if you know that y equals this, that means you can stick it in for y because they have the same value. So then once you stick that in for y, so now remember this equaled y, but now we know that that equals a negative x minus 7. Those two things equal each other. Once you only have one variable in an equation, you know how to solve that. So you do the distributive property, negative 5x minus 35 plus 3x equals a negative 13. Then you can go ahead and solve it. Here's the negative 5x plus 3x, made it a negative 2x. So I just combined the like terms, moved the 35 to the other side. Then you get negative 2x equals 22. divide both sides by -2, and you get -11. And then you would follow through and plug that back in to see what you got for y. So you will get the same thing. Tune in to the next video for more examples.